Yo, what's good, man? Drips of the Wave Runners here. And today we're coming to you with a whole nother video, man. This is a unique idea that we just thought about and we want to get you guys involved. So we decided to do it. Basically, this new series is going to be called Wave Runners Critiques. And basically each episode we're going to go through like 4 or 5 beats by producers just in the community, you know, guys who sent us our beats. Which if you want to send us beats, I have the email in the description so you can send them as quick as you can. But basically these guys sent beats, we're going to listen to it, we're going to critique them, and the best beat, get the free loop kit, courtesy of Wave Runners, man. So if you're thinking about entering, you think you got the beat that could do it, enter it, man. You know, no harsh judging. We're not trying to bash other producers, we're just trying to help everybody. We're trying to give out critique, give out help. So just in case, you know, this might not be your beat, but you might grab something from this. So hopefully you guys do. We're gonna get straight into it. Also, all the producers that are going to be featured in this video, we're gonna have all their links, we're gonna put their names in the video, we're gonna basically shout them out so you guys could all hear their work, you know, get used to them, follow them, support them, all that good stuff. We're gonna get straight into it. I'm going to play the beat now, and then I'll be back to give the critique.
Yo, that's a hard ass beat.
Alright, so let me get straight into the critique. For the melody, I was vibing to it. It was calm, it was nice, it had a little bounce to it. What he could have added to spice it up a little bit more is a counter melody, and not just another sound playing in the same pattern, but like something completely different. Because I felt like, you know, if he had like a flute playing at a high octave and it was, you know, kind of countering to the melody itself, but it still sounded, you know, correct, that would have, you know, that would have topped it off. That would have made it have that extra little sauce to it, that extra little bounce. But besides that, the melody sounded nice. I was vibing to it. It had a little, you know, little Skies, a little Juice WRLD, Playboi Carti type vibe. For the drums, he kept it very simple. I noticed that, you know, there's only 3 percussions playing. If I'm mistaken, I believe it was the 808, the hi-hat, and the clap. And that's not a bad thing. However, when it gets to a certain point in the beat, what I would have liked if he added maybe a little bit more percussion, like for instance like an open hi-hat or a rim shot, you know, something like that, just to give it an extra bounce, just to make it so that it doesn't sound repetitive. Because if you only have like the 3 sounds going, after a while you kind of look for something else to really pop out in the beat, and it never came. So adding something like that, I feel like that would just enhance the beat a little bit and take it to another level. And also, if you didn't want to take that route, what I also would suggest is maybe changing up the 808 pattern. I noticed that he did do that. Like there are 2 different 808 patterns, I believe. It sounds like that, but they don't sound too, you know, separate from each other. Like it took me a minute to kind of tell them apart. So let's just say like he had another pattern, and for every couple like hits, it went to a higher octave. You know, just something that could shake up the listener and be like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. You know, something like that would have added a little bit more uniqueness to it. So either doing that or like adding percussion and stuff like that, which is change the beat a little bit, make it a little bit better, stuff like that. Alright, for the sequencing, there weren't any problems with this. I messed with it. I could understand where the beat was going. I would probably just have time to start, but that's just my opinion, that's my preference. And also I would wait to drop the 808 until like everything else was playing, because since you don't have a lot of stuff playing, once you give away that 808 early, the listener already knows what's about to happen for the whole beat, so it's kind of like you're giving it away. So I would just wait until the whole beat drops with all the percussion to drop that 808. But yeah, that was the beat from Census Beats. Great job on this, bro. I appreciate you sending the beat. It had me bouncing, I ain't gonna lie, it really had me bouncing. So we're gonna get into the second person for this critique, and his name is Quiz Bueno. Now I might be getting his name messed up, I'm sorry if I am. I'll be right back with the critique. start off by saying this beat was fire. Like this one goes hard. I'm not going front. For the moment I turned it on, I was like, oh, this is definitely a vibe. As far as the mixing, the only thing I would say is turn up that kick. Just turn it up a little bit more, and then that would hit perfectly. Like everything else was right where it's what's supposed to be. I like this. I love the percussion on this, man. It has that bounce. Like it never stops moving. I like the little cuts that he put in between, because that's more of a producer move. I like it. Like when you're looking at a beat and you're trying to get it to an artist, adding little stuff like those little cuts, like they always appreciate that. So, that's a great thing that he did. He spaced out his counter melodies so that they weren't all playing at once, and they kind of, they came in at different parts of the beat, and I appreciate that, because it felt like, it didn't feel repetitive. Like it always felt like there was something else coming, and that's something that you should always look towards as a producer. Besides that, man, I really didn't have anything else for that beat. Like it pretty much sounded as it should. Like it was going hard. There's literally nothing else I can say about that. So Bueno, it definitely was Bueno. I'll give you that. Great beat, man. Keep up that stuff, man. I loved it. It was fire. Now for this third producer, his name is Hoods Beats. We're gonna get straight into his beat. Alright, man, so I'm back, and basically I just want to start this off by saying, yo, if you're planning to send this to like an artist and stuff, it's already ready to go. Like as far as getting it to that level of having artists on it, like it's definitely sendable. This right here, without anything, like as it is, you can send that all to an artist. They can make that into a hit, no doubt about it. For the beat itself, man, I'm digging it. I'm enjoying it. Like from the moment I played it, once again, it's one of those beats where it all sounds like it goes together perfect. It doesn't sound like there's too many things missing. Like it already sounds complete. As far as the mix is good on it. I'm messing with it. Like how he had the percussion like just slightly lower, so he could let that 808 and the melody really take the center stage. As far as his drums, man, they were knocking. They did what they had to do. They weren't too complex, which is, you don't have to always have complex stuff. This is a great example of, keep it a little simple. It doesn't have to be too crazy, but it still captures the eye, and it still is something that's a vibe that you could kind of bounce to. I love where the 808 was going, all the different slides and stuff like that. That really took me. Like that was the ones that really caught my eye, and I appreciate the way he was, moving the 808 and had it bouncing. So that's a good key point from him. As far as the melody, it's simple, but it works. Like it doesn't go too many different places, but it does what it has to do. Once again, I would probably just add a counter melody, something like different, just to give in like probably like a certain part during the verse or something like that, just to add something different. But you don't need that. Like that in general, the beat as it is now, it doesn't necessarily need it, but it would make it better. So overall for the beat, I wouldn't really change much. It already has that vibe that it's looking for, that it needs. It bounces, it does everything that it has to do. I probably just add a different counter melody, but that's pretty much it. Thank you, Hoods, for sending this in, man. This is hard to keep on doing that. So now the fourth producer that we have is Sam Z. I actually know this dude. He's fire. Like his beats are fire. So hopefully, it doesn't disappoint. So let's get straight into this. this beat, man, the melody, it sounds completely different. I appreciate the fact that this is something that I really wasn't expecting as far as like the melody wise. It really sounded something different. Like that flute sounded crazy. I was messing with that. As far as the melody, like there's no key noticeable things that you need to change about it. Like you could have probably mixed it a little bit differently, but that's not anything that has to do with necessarily with the melody. So as far as the melody, it's fire. I like it. It's different, and I enjoy listening to, different melody, a different type of beat every now and then, not just listening to the same old. So I appreciate that. As far as the kicks, as far as the drums and all that, what I would say is, add a second 808 pattern where you switch things up and, probably give it different hits at different areas and stuff like that. I would say to do that basically because after a while, like the same 808 pattern might get a little repetitive. So adding that little difference would probably, make it stand out a little bit more. As far as like the claps and hi-hats and stuff like that, don't change a thing, bro. That shit was not gonna like the little, the little stutter that it had. I like the little perks that you have, the little sounds in between. Like I was fucking with that. It added that little bounce, an extra little bounce to it, and I like it how it hit only in certain places. Like it wasn't everywhere. As far as the mixing, I would probably say turn up the kick just because it sounds on the same level as the 808, and it kind of makes it so that there's no real, difference between the two. So I would just turn up that kick so it makes it more noticeable. As far as everything else, you did a pretty good job of mixing. Like I enjoyed it. It sounded clean. There was no like major errors or anything. Like this is a beat that once again you can send off to an artist and they'll do, and that's no problem. They can make a banger out of this. So Samzy, I appreciate you sending it in. Nice beat, bro. Keep on cooking. Now for the fifth one, this producer is named Ferg. So we're gonna get into this beat. We're gonna see how it's knocking or if it's knocking or not, and critique it.
Yo, did Ferg make this?
Now for that beat, basically, I like the piano melody playing throughout the beat. Like that was really hard. Good work on that. I like the pad that you had under it. It really set it apart and made it sound actually like realistic. I would say for like sequencing wise, I would just take that part out in the front where you had everything playing. Just cause me personally, I like to hold the suspense a little bit and wait until that beat drops to have everything. As a producer, that's something that I would add, just like as a little extra. But as an artist, that would kind of annoy me. Because a lot of times they don't like that, where the beat's playing all of a sudden. Either it's, the beat's automatically playing and that's how it is for the whole beat, or it's not, It's usually not playing the beat and then getting into the intro. So I would just say cut that part entirely because you don't need it. Like the beat's fire as it is. I would probably say as far as like the 808 goes and the 808 pattern, I would say switch a couple of notes at the end to the 8-bar loop because I can hear it kind of not really hitting where it's supposed to hit, and I think that's just because it needs to be on different keys. So play around with that. I would say as far as the rest of the percussion, they sound awesome, they sound great. Don't change it. It sounds good as it is. Like I was saying with the melody, it sounds great. You don't really need to change anything about it. As far as the mixing, everything sounded pretty much the same. I would just say bring that clap down a little bit because I could tell that it's kind of sitting at a different level than the rest of the percussion. So I would just say bring the clap down, and that's pretty much it. Overall, like I said, there's not really that many big changes that you have to do. It's more like little small stuff. So I would just say, focus on getting that mix, tight, and just play around with that 808 pattern to see what you could really get out of it. Now for the winner of today's episode, had a little hard time deciding on who, but I think I'm gonna give it to the man Hoods Beats. He had a very great beat. Like I said, like it really didn't need this critique. Like, you could send it off and an artist could pretty much make a banger to it. But he's gonna be getting a free loop kit, of course, courtesy of us at Wave Runners. Thank you for everybody who sent their beat. We have way more beats to critique, way more episodes to make, so watch out for those. If you want to send them, I have the email and the link where you can send your beat. Hope you enjoyed, man. If you have any, ideas, anything you want to contribute, comment it down below. All that good stuff, man. Stay cooking, stay dripping.